The escape of 6 inmates from the John Lilly Correctional Center in Boley in less than a month is raising concerns about security at state prisons. At the heart of the issue is a critical shortage of correctional officers and severe overcrowding.
Since December 27th, 6 inmates have escaped from the John Lilly Correctional Facility in Okfuskee County. Sean B. Moore was the last inmate to leave unnoticed. He turned himself in 2 hours after missing an evening head count on January 19th. The Department of Corrections says the inmates were all able to walk away from Lilly because it's a minimum security facility. There is no barbed wire fencing them in. Terry Watkins is the Director of Communications for DOC.
The offenders, all of which have been returned to the facility, all the reasons are different. And prior to those 6, and understand it was 4 incidents, 6 offenders. Prior to that, there had not been a walkaway from the Lilly facility in Boley for 15 months.
Watkins says they can't attribute the escapes to any one thing in particular. But Sean Wallace, who is the executive director of the Oklahoma Corrections Professionals Association, says security has been reduced at Lilly and at other facilities since July of last year.
I know that we've reduced security at this facility like everywhere else, but we don't do perimeter security anymore at John Lilly, so we don't have an officer driving around the exterior of the facility making sure nobody's walking off and nobody's coming on to the unit or to the yard bringing contraband or anything like that.
Wallace says corrections officers who work at Lilly tell him of their concerns.
The staff here are definitely think there's a problem, and I think they feel like it's a direct result of the staffing levels that we have at John Lilly, and it's the same staffing levels issues that we have at every facility in the state.
Watkins says DOC has the same concern.
Staffing is always a concern. We're at 67% staffing level right now. Would we like to have more? Of course we would. We'd like to be at 100% staffing. It's a money issue, and it's going to be a money issue in the current budget situation in the state of Oklahoma.
Another critical concern for DOC is the prison population. A recently completed study conducted by the department shows prison facilities are at 116% capacity. In a recent speech to the Tulsa Republican Club, Speaker of the House of Representatives Jeff Hickman was quoted by the Tulsa World as saying, "As Republicans, we talk a lot about not wanting the federal government coming in and telling us how to do our business. If we don't address this ourselves, we are one lawsuit away, one federal judge, one federal court away from someone other than the people you elect deciding how you operate corrections."
We almost are to the point where we would hope for a federal takeover. I mean, because we're so desperate for somebody to help us.
Wallace says the legal burden may fall upon the Oklahoma Corrections Professionals Association.
If it's going to take us to file a lawsuit to make it happen, then we're going to have to go that route.
Wallace says his organization is concerned about the safety of DOC employees, especially those working long shifts. At the Oklahoma State Reformatory in Granite, staffing is only 54%. Corrections Officer Randy Weaver of Magnum was critically injured while crashing his Jeep after leaving a 12-hour shift at the facility January 10th. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol report states Weaver was sleepy and not using a seatbelt. Wallace says Weaver worked until midnight the night before he started a 6 a.m. shift.
The next day did a 12-hour shift, and I don't know how many hours he worked that week, but it's probably 60 hours at least, and he fell asleep driving home. I mean, he's, I've been told he was the model employee, and this is what the state does to the model employees. They work them so much that they are put in dangerous situations like that.
Wallace says people living near prison should also be concerned. In the small town of Boley, which is about a quarter of a mile from the Lilly facility, sirens alert residents of escapes. Calvin Boyce helps run residential mental health care facilities in Boley. He wants DOC to fix the problem.
As far as them prisoners, I just think they need to get a hold of those, what's going on up there, because it shouldn't, I can understand if one happens maybe once every 2 years, but to happen the way it's been happening, somebody needs to get a hold of it,
Watkins says DOC is looking at what it can do to prevent escapes. 4 have taken place at minimum security prisons since January 1st. There were 24 minimum security escapes in 2014.